Welcome to RenEnergy.com, your renewable energy and sustainability platform. The Green Climate Fund, GCF, is a global fund established within the framework of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC, to assist developing countries in mitigation and adaptation practices to counter climate change. The GCF was conceptualized during the UNFCCC's Conference of the Parties, COP, at its 16th session in 2010. Where the collective ambition to limit the increase of global temperatures to well below 2 degrees Celsius was reaffirmed. The fund's creation is pivotal in channeling financial resources from developed nations, who have historically contributed more to the problem of global warming, to developing nations that are most vulnerable to climate change's adverse effects. The GCF is governed by a board that consists of 24 members, comprising an equal number of members from developing and developed countries. The GCF Secretariat, based in Songdo, Republic of Korea, services the board and is responsible for executing its decisions, developing, managing, and monitoring the portfolio of approved projects and programs, among other duties. The GCF works through a network of accredited entities that propose projects and programs for funding approval. These entities can be international, regional, or national and public or private. GCF's role in climate change mitigation. The GCF plays a pivotal role in climate change mitigation, assisting developing countries in their transition to a low-emission developmental pathway. Its strategic plan aims at promoting a paradigm shift towards low-emission and climate-resilient development pathways, a critical component of the broader sustainable development agenda. The fund supports projects, programs, policies, and other activities in developing countries using thematic funding windows. It is guided by the fund's investment framework that includes mitigation and adaptation activities. For mitigation activities, the GCF prioritizes a select number of impactful areas, including energy generation and access, transport, buildings, cities, industries, and appliances, forestry and land use, and others. The GCF is distinctive in its ability to use public investment to stimulate private finance, unlocking the potential of private sector investments in renewable energy and decarbonization efforts. Through its private sector facility, the GCF has the ability to bear significant risks, allowing it to leverage additional financing beyond its own direct financing. This approach helps catalyze investments towards high-impact, large-scale climate activities. The GCF's role extends beyond just financing. It also provides a platform for cooperation and coordination among nations and encourages the sharing of knowledge and best practices in climate change mitigation. In essence, the GCF is a vital instrument in the global effort to combat climate change, facilitating a mutualistic global approach that allows all nations, regardless of their developmental status or financial capability, to contribute to the shared objective of a sustainable and resilient future. GCF's role in decarbonization. Brief explanation of decarbonization. Decarbonization refers to the reduction of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gas, GHG, emissions associated with electricity, heat, and fuel consumption. It's a critical element of any serious strategy to combat climate change. Decarbonization can be achieved through various means, including improving energy efficiency, increasing the use of renewable energy sources, implementing carbon capture and storage technologies, and changing consumption patterns. The energy sector is the largest source of global greenhouse gas emissions because most of the world's energy comes from burning fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas. Renewable energy, energy efficiency, and electrification of other sectors, such as transport and heating, are all parts of the decarbonization equation. How GCF supports decarbonization. The GCF is uniquely positioned to support decarbonization efforts. Its mandate to promote a paradigm shift towards low-emission and climate-resilient development pathways aligns directly with the objectives of decarbonization. The GCF has the flexibility to invest in a wide range of projects and programs, from those aimed at promoting renewable energy and energy efficiency to those focused on sustainable land use and forest management, all of which contribute to decarbonization. By providing financial resources to developing countries, the GCF helps bridge the gap between their climate ambitions and the financial means to achieve them. Through the leverage of public funds to mobilize private investments, the GCF is able to drive substantial capital towards decarbonization efforts, accelerating the global transition towards a low-carbon future. Furthermore, the GCF supports capacity building and knowledge sharing among countries, facilitating the transfer of innovative technologies and best practices for decarbonization. The fund also plays a crucial role in promoting policy and regulatory frameworks that are conducive to low-carbon investments. Case study: Universal Green Energy Access Program in Sub-Saharan Africa. An example of how the GCF is driving decarbonization efforts is the Universal Green Energy Access Program in Sub-Saharan Africa. This program is an investment fund that aims to reduce GHG emissions by increasing access to clean electrical energy for mainly rural populations in Sub-Saharan Africa. It provides financing for decentralized energy service companies for off-grid and mini-grid systems for rural households and communities and renewable energy for industrial players. The program replaces fossil fuel-based energy production with renewable, clean energy solutions that can meet increasing energy demand. Investments target off-grid renewable electricity energy, green mini-grid projects, and industrial renewable electrical energy. Around 50 investments will be made, totaling a volume of $500 million over the course of 5 years, and via 2 phases. At a later stage, the program will work with local financial institutions to enable banks to provide long-term loans to businesses that provide clean electricity solutions. A public-private partnership instrument will leverage at least twofold the impact of public capital through private investment. Through this program, the GCF is not only supporting the transition to renewable energy in Sub-Saharan Africa but is also helping to stimulate local financial markets and private sector investment in clean energy, which is a critical part of the decarbonization process. GCF's contribution to renewable energy development. Understanding renewable energy projects. Renewable energy projects are initiatives that seek to harness energy from sustainable sources such as solar, wind, hydropower, geothermal, and bioenergy. These projects range from large-scale power generation facilities, such as wind farms and solar power plants, to small-scale, off-grid energy solutions, such as solar home systems and mini-grids. Renewable energy projects not only reduce greenhouse gas emissions but also offer a host of other benefits, such as energy security, job creation, and improved air quality. GCF's framework for supporting renewable energy initiatives. The GCF supports renewable energy projects through various financial instruments, including grants, concessional loans, equity investments, and guarantees. By using these tools, the GCF can help to de-risk renewable energy investments and attract additional private sector capital. The GCF's investments are guided by its investment framework, which prioritizes projects that have the greatest potential to drive a paradigm shift towards low-emission and climate-resilient development pathways. This framework consists of 6 investment criteria: impact potential, paradigm shift potential, sustainable development potential, needs of the recipient, country ownership, and efficiency and effectiveness. Under this framework, the GCF assesses renewable energy proposals on their potential to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, transform the energy sector, contribute to sustainable development goals, respond to the needs of the country, and deliver value for money. This rigorous approach ensures that GCF's investments have the greatest possible impact on climate change mitigation and adaptation. Case study: Investment Fund for Decentralized Energy Services. A prime example of how the GCF supports renewable energy projects is its investment fund for decentralized energy services. This project provides financing for decentralized energy service companies that offer off-grid and mini-grid systems for rural households, communities, and industrial players in Sub-Saharan Africa. The project aims to replace fossil fuel-based energy production with renewable, clean energy solutions that can meet increasing energy demand. Its investments target off-grid renewable electricity energy in the form of solar home systems, green mini-grid projects, and industrial renewable electrical energy. This investment fund is expected to make around 50 investments totaling $500 million over 5 years, in 2 phases. In the later stage, it will collaborate with local financial institutions to provide long-term loans to businesses that deliver clean electricity solutions, leveraging public capital to attract private investment. Through this project, the GCF is playing a pivotal role in accelerating the transition to renewable energy in Sub-Saharan Africa, particularly in rural areas where energy access is still a challenge. This not only contributes to the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions but also promotes sustainable development by providing affordable and reliable electricity to underserved communities. Success stories and lessons learned from GCF's renewable energy projects. Highlighting successes. The GCF's renewable energy projects have produced numerous success stories around the world. For instance, the Universal Green Energy Access Program in Sub-Saharan Africa has had significant impact in expanding access to electricity in rural areas and promoting the growth of local industries. Through the financing of solar home systems, green mini-grids, and renewable energy for industrial players, the program is reducing GHG emissions and contributing to socio-economic development. It is estimated that approximately 50 investments will be made, totaling a volume of $500 million over the course of 5 years, and via 2 phases. The success of this program demonstrates the transformative potential of renewable energy projects when backed by robust financing and a strong commitment to sustainability. Important lessons learned. As with any large-scale initiative, the implementation of GCF's renewable energy projects has also offered important lessons. One key insight is the importance of country ownership and stakeholder engagement in ensuring the sustainability of projects. By actively involving local communities and governments in project planning and implementation, the GCF ensures that its projects are well aligned with national priorities and have strong local support. Another lesson is the need for capacity building and technical assistance in many developing countries. Many GCF-funded projects include components aimed at strengthening the institutional and technical capacities of recipient countries, enabling them to better manage and sustain the projects in the long term. Finally, the GCF's experience underscores the importance of leveraging private sector finance in scaling up renewable energy investments. By de-risking investments and providing concessional finance, the GCF is able to mobilize additional private sector capital, thereby magnifying the impact of its funding. The significance of local context in project implementation. An essential aspect of GCF's renewable energy projects is considering the local context of the project implementation. The economic, environmental, social, and cultural contexts of each project location are unique, which means that one-size-fits-all solutions are unlikely to be successful. GCF's commitment to understanding and integrating these local contexts into project design and implementation has been a crucial factor in the success of its projects. For instance, the Investment Fund for Decentralized Energy Services in Sub-Saharan Africa is explicitly designed to adapt to the unique needs and conditions of rural communities in the region. By prioritizing local context, GCF projects not only achieve their climate objectives but also contribute to broader sustainable development goals. Future perspectives. Challenges and opportunities for GCF in renewable energy sector. Looking ahead, the GCF faces both challenges and opportunities in its mission to support renewable energy projects and decarbonization efforts. A key challenge is the continuing need for large-scale investments in renewable energy, particularly in developing countries. Despite the progress made so far, much more needs to be done to achieve the goal of universal access to clean, affordable, and reliable energy. This will require the GCF to mobilize even larger amounts of finance, both from public and private sources. At the same time, the GCF must also navigate the complexities of implementing renewable energy projects in diverse contexts, each with its own unique set of challenges and opportunities. This requires a nuanced understanding of local contexts and the ability to design and implement projects that are well suited to these contexts. On the opportunity side, the increasing recognition of climate change as a global priority presents a significant opportunity for the GCF. As more and more governments, businesses, and individuals commit to tackling climate change, there is a growing demand for the kinds of projects and programs that the GCF supports. This not only increases the pool of potential funding for the GCF but also boosts the impact and relevance of its work. GCF's future role in renewable energy and decarbonization. In the future, the GCF is likely to play an even more central role in promoting renewable energy and decarbonization. As the largest multilateral fund dedicated to climate finance, the GCF is well positioned to support the massive investments needed to transition to a low-carbon, climate-resilient world. The GCF will continue to innovate in its approach to funding, seeking new ways to leverage private sector finance and to support transformative projects and programs. It will also continue to prioritize country ownership, stakeholder engagement, and capacity building, recognizing these as key elements of successful and sustainable projects. In terms of specific sectors, the GCF is expected to increasingly focus on renewable energy, energy efficiency, and other low-carbon technologies, given their crucial role in reducing GHG emissions. At the same time, it will also continue to support adaptation projects, recognizing that many countries are already experiencing the impacts of climate change. Conclusion. Recap of GCF's impact on decarbonization and renewable energy development. Throughout this video, we have examined the critical role of the GCF in promoting decarbonization and renewable energy development. By providing finance and technical assistance, the GCF is helping countries to reduce their GHG emissions and to transition to a sustainable, low-carbon future. Through its support for renewable energy projects, the GCF is also helping to expand access to clean, affordable, and reliable energy, particularly in developing countries. Final thoughts on GCF's role in fighting climate change through renewable energy projects. In conclusion, the GCF's role in fighting climate change through renewable energy projects is fundamental. As the largest multilateral fund dedicated to climate finance, the GCF has both the resources and the expertise needed to make a real difference. By continuing to innovate, to prioritize country ownership, and to leverage private sector finance, the GCF can help to accelerate the global transition to a sustainable, low-carbon future. As we confront the immense challenge of climate change, the work of the GCF is more important than ever. Thank you for choosing ReneEnergy.com as your go-to source for all things renewable energy and sustainability. With our YouTube channel, we explore the latest developments and innovations in the field, including hydrogen fuel cells and the use of AI and machine learning to optimize energy consumption. If you're ready to take the next step towards a cleaner, more sustainable future, visit us at ReneEnergy.com and discover the many ways we can help you transition to renewable energy. Thank you for watching and subscribing. Stay up to date on all the latest news and insights by subscribing today.